Hey everyone, it's Erin with Hail Varsity. I'm joined by Drake, also of Hail Varsity. We are back at Memorial Stadium after Nebraska was away for a week. I was in Ireland with Brandon Vogel, but Drake, Brady, our whole team was here holding it down in Lincoln. But we are all officially back on a more, I guess, quote-unquote normal schedule, although it's a little bit different this week as they were recuperating from the whole travel schedule from Ireland to Nebraska. I was kind of trying to think. It is Wednesday, which means they got back to like a light practice on Tuesday, had a light practice on Monday. It sounded like today was like the first day that they were going to be back to more of a true weekly schedule. So we heard from Scott Frost, 3 players yesterday, and then we heard from both coordinators today. Let's just talk about it. Let's start with everything on Tuesday. What stood out to you from what Frost and the 3 players said?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing over both days. They're trying to keep things positive. They're acknowledging the mistakes. They know they need to finish, but they looked at what they did a lot. They did well, scoring 28 points and doing very well through the first 2.5 quarters, and they just want to focus on that and bring that into the next week.
Although you did write a story on Caleb Tanner, he was kind of, I'd say, the star of the press conference yesterday. People really took note of what he had to say. Can you just share a little bit about what you wrote and what his thoughts were? While there were positives to be had, he seemed to be kind of the most, I would say, blunt, if you will, about what needs to be done.
Yeah, and while like everyone else, he still believes in the team. He said that this loss was a bit more difficult to get over than it usually is for him. And, as a fifth-year senior, he's played in every game of the Frost era. You can understand that, they felt like this was the year, and they still feel that way. But to start it off with a loss, he was blunt about how that affected him.
And he also talked about what needs to be done. He specifically spelled it out. What did he say needs to be done for Nebraska to turn things around?
Their job, their job.
I mean, it was true. He was very clear on that. He kept saying people just need to do their job, which, I mean, that kind of carried over even today with both Whipple and Chinander talking with the media. We did not hear from any players today. So this week we will have only heard from 3 players, being Casey Thompson, Caleb Tanner, and Quentin Newsome. And that is a little bit different than usual. We would typically get players on a day like today, but as I said, schedule's a little bit different this week as they've been adjusting back, so things should be more quote-unquote, I guess, normal next week. I shouldn't have said it was this week, but it will get there. What did we hear from both Whipple? Let's start with Whipple. What was his big talking points today?
Yeah, it was kind of just less discouragement off the last game and more encouraging the team, all the things they did well. They felt good, and they want to, like has been the theme, they want to finish and continue things through the last quarter, and that's how they're going to win games.
He did talk a lot about being more encouraged than discouraged. He did watch the 4th quarter with the team. Obviously, Frost brought that up yesterday if you watch that video here on our YouTube channel. But, he did walk away saying that Casey Thompson played above average. Now, we know that some of that also is there's questions because Casey, had you said it. The first 2.5 quarters were very good, and then it seemingly got a little bit more difficult. Nebraska couldn't really find an offensive rhythm, especially in the 4th quarter. It did sound like, across the board from what Frost said, Casey Thompson said this, everyone really acknowledged that they need to run the ball more effectively.
Yeah, and, Whipple said they had a few big runs, but they want to get way more than that. I don't remember the exact numbers he said, but he wants to have more of a run game, and that's something Frost said and clarified yesterday, and that's something they'll be working on.
You have to have a run game in the Big Ten more than anything else. Last but not least, Chinander also spoke about his group. I heard the buzzword tackling quite a bit. What did he have to say about tackling?
Yeah, that's something that's come up a lot since the game on Saturday, and, he feels like the team's effort was there. They didn't panic when they were hit with big plays, but they need to get the tackling down. They want to improve on a lot of those things, and they feel like they've cleaned that up over the last few practices, and they'll improve on that as they go into North Dakota.
I guess maybe I should say the other kind of big notable thing from Chinander was the talk about the pass rush. What did he have to say about that today?
Yeah, that's something he wants to see more of, and that's something that was expected to be a strength of this defense. They didn't do that on Saturday. They didn't succeed like they wanted to, and that's something they're working on and fixing as this week goes on.
It'll be interesting. North Dakota comes here to Memorial Stadium for Nebraska to kick off its not season opener, home opener here at Memorial Stadium. Obviously, Scott Frost did say he hopes that the fans come out and support because, in his opinion, this is a really neat team, and we'll see what Nebraska has been able to adjust between last Saturday and this Saturday. North Dakota is definitely not a team that you can or should overlook, and even Georgia Southern is a team that you can't and shouldn't overlook, and it would be a mistake to be overlooking any team right now and looking ahead toward Oklahoma. So this is the opportunity to make those adjustments that they just talked about, and we will absolutely keep you updated on everything from here at Memorial Stadium. We'll have more from Frost tomorrow, so be sure to check back in. But if you're a baseball fan, by the way, Drake will be at baseball tomorrow, so just throwing that out there as well. And we'll also have plenty from volleyball through the week. So if you're looking for anything else, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to Hail Varsity. We would really appreciate your support, and leave your comments, your questions, everything. I know it's not been a fun few days, but we do appreciate your support as always. We will be back with even more. Talk to you soon.